So, three great races at one great racetrack. Brands Hatch, home of the British Formula One Grand Prix on and off through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and a true challenging circuit for a racing driver. So, first, let's go to Ira Sidorkova, who won twice this evening. Congratulations. Ira, tell us about them both those wins. But first of all, the reverse grid race.
So the reverse race, second race was quite easy because I only had to have a good start and I just did it. So after first corner, I was on the first position and I have just go. So of course the third race was harder for me because I had some overtakes and at the first laps, I don't want to overtake Baitske or Marta because I just want to have some more good laps. But after we had some battle and I think that was quite good. I want to say thank you, girls, for this battle. So that's it.
Well, indeed, your second victory in the third race, and for a while, obviously, Marta, who we're going to talk about in a moment, Marta was leading that one. Were you confident, Ira, that you were going to be able to beat Marta?
To be honest, I don't want to overtake her at this corner, but it was like, why not? So I was just going and try to overtake her.
Okay, well, let's move on to Marta. Marta, a third place in race one and a second place in race three. So very well done. Tell us about your battle with Ira in race three. Do you think you'd be able to hold on to win?
Well, thank you. I think it was really hard for me. Like, I had a good start on that race, and then I was like keeping myself on first position. But it was already difficult because Baitske was like pushing really hard. And then I saw Ira, and she was like also really fast. Like I didn't have so much pace on that race. But I mean, it was gonna be difficult to hold Ira to overtake me. I think maybe I could have been doing better in the first corner. But yeah, I think she did a good job on that overtaking, and yeah, that's it.
Well, she did a good job, but definitely you did a good job as well with a third and a second. That leads me to the obvious question. Next time out at Interlagos, you've had a second here at Brands Hatch. Can you go one better and have a first in one of the races at Interlagos?
Well, I guess I could do it. I mean, if I work hard, like I've been doing driving in the sim, I think I can do better for sure, and maybe get some victory. Let's see.
Now we'll come to you, Baitska. Another truly excellent set of results, a first, a second, and a fourth. Could you just tell us about race one, first of all?
Yeah, so the first race I started second, and I went side by side with Caitlin into turn one, and I just gambled on the fact that I would hope she would brake, which luckily she did, so I could go around the outside, and then yeah, win that one. Second race was very tricky coming from last, but this time I actually managed to stay calm in the first lap and avoid any damage, and then slowly work myself up to second. Ira was too far away already at that point. Yeah, and then the third race I qualified on pole. Messed up my start once again, and yeah, then I had a really long fight with Marta and Ira until unfortunately I hit the wall.
Well, let's go back to the second race, the reverse grid race. Could you nearly achieved the perfect reverse grid race from the very back of the grid to second, not quite able to take the win, but to second. Tell us a little bit about the way you made up the places at Brands Hatch.
So at the start I just took it easy. Turn one was quite smooth, but then like turn two and three were quite a mess, and I was just trying to avoid everyone. And then between turn three and four, it was actually really close because there was a car flying through the air and I had to go through the grass to avoid that. But yeah, luckily I had no damage, and then step by step I could overtake more people until second.
And finally, as you said, race 3, slightly disappointing. You were on the pole position, but only managed to finish 4th. But a great battle, surely. Tell us a little bit more about the battle with young racing drivers.
I think it was really cool to fight with them. I think we had many overtakings. With both of them, so it was really fun. And hopefully we have more of that, but then without me hitting the wall.
Well, nobody ever wants to hit the wall, but we're now going to come to the next, you, Jess. Now, Jess, iffy start at Monza, if you don't bring it that, better results at Austin, 3 very solid races here at Brands Hatch, 6th, 5th, and 8th. So a good points haul altogether. Give us a summary of your whole evening, all 3 races.
Well, firstly, iffy is a nice way of putting my results at Monza. No, I think I just needed to bag some points today. So that's essentially what I just tried to do. There was a couple of times where I could have maybe held a position for longer, but then that may have lost me a few places later on in the race. So I thought especially in, I think it was race 2, when Bikes was coming up behind me, I just thought, I'm not going to let her go, but I'm certainly not going to make it difficult, because I just wanted to bag some points, and losing one position rather than risking a crash and losing a lot of points would have been detrimental to the championship standings.
And now the next race, in some ways, rather a similar circuit. I'm talking about Interlagos, of course, because it's a natural bowl, a lot of elevation changes and undulations, and very well known and famous as a driver's circuit. Do you think you can continue your improvement and begin to get close to, or even a podium, or even better? What is your prediction, and how are you working to improve to get closer to the front of Interlagos?
I'm just putting in hours upon hours in the simulator. My eyes are soon going to turn square, I think, Matt. This is something that I've really struggled to get to grips with it, like really struggled. And I guess I just work hard at it again, put in those hours again, and hope that I'll be somewhere just near Beitska, even, within a couple of tenths, I'll be pleased. But at the moment, I've still got some work to do. So yeah, I guess I'll just put some laps in around there and see what happens.
As ever, it's the work you put in that delivers the results. So well done. Now I come to you finally, Sabra. You scored a strong 3rd place in the reverse grid race from 5th on the grid. So you made up 2 places and held your own there. Tell us a little bit about your first podium in the W Series Esports League.
So the reverse grid race got an okay start, and I just tried to make it be very gentle going in through all the way through turn 1, and then lap 1 just trying to maintain position. And then slowly, once I came out of it, there was a bit of carnage on the start, as always, and then just tried to hunt down Mickey, and eventually passed her, and then tried to minimize my mistakes, but unfortunately Beitska is quite fast, so she ended up catching me towards the end, and I was like, maybe if there was only 2 laps left I could do it, but I knew that she was closing quite fast, so didn't kind of what they said, didn't fight Beitska too much and just let her kind of go through and try to follow and learn as much as I can whenever I'm around her on track. So, and then just tried to be safe the rest of the race and bring it home in 3rd, because I really needed those points.
Well done for bagging those points for 3rd place. The other 2 races, yes, I suppose we have to say you fared slightly less well, 16th and 15th, actually, to be precise. Yeah. But what are your areas, the areas of your sim racing skill set, if I could put it like that you're now working on to try and make sure that you can improve going forward?
I think everything. Honestly, I'm very new to the whole sim racing, and I'm trying to put in as much time as possible to be able to catch up to everybody else, and just putting in hours, like Jess said. And it's hard. It's it's not, you don't have the feeling, you don't have it, and you're very heavily relying on vision. So just getting used to that feeling, and my eyes end up being so red at the end of every day. It's
interesting, but just putting in time and trying to do mock qualifying and mock races and trying to be more consistent.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Ira Sidorkova, Baitska Vissa, Marta Garcia, Jess Hawkins, and Sabra Cook. Thank you all. 3 great races, 2 great winners, 1 great circuit. Next time, the wonderful Autodromo Carlos Pace at Interlagos, named, of course, after the late, great Carlos Pace, who was born in Sao Paulo and very sadly died. The circuit now bears his name. Great, great motor racing. Don't miss it. Same time, same place. 1900 hours, 7 o'clock, BST, British Summertime, on BBC iPlayer, BBC Sport website, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. See you next week.